order this meeting of the Plain Township Board of Trustees for Tuesday, August 25th. If everybody will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before us, we have our agenda. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections by fellow board members or department heads at this time? Okay, the agenda will stand as presented. For the record, please denote Road Superintendent Joe Iacino and Trustee John Sabo excused vacation travel. Do we have anybody in the audience that has anything for the sheriff's office on this? Nothing. It's going to take us to unfinished business. I'm going to turn that over to Ms. Campbell.
Thank you. Unfinished business number 1 is a resolution to enter into the agreement for cost sharing between the Plain Township Board of Trustees, and this is for the USGS cost sharing project in an amount not to exceed $6,718.
I will so move.
I'll second.
Discussion. I mean, we've touched on this a couple times before. Essentially, these are the gauges that have been in a couple pre-identified locations to monitor the streams along the Zimmer and a couple other bodies. So this is a cost sharing where the commissioners are taking the big share of it, and then it's split out amongst four other entities. So this really doesn't deviate much. It's just a continuation from what we've had. No further discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Item number 2 is a resolution to amend our Home Rule Chapter 1500, use of yard waste drop-off area.
So moved.
Second. Discussion.
These are the changes that we discussed at the last meeting, implementing to the benefit of our residents. We've already removed the no trailers and changed to actually not allowing vehicles in excess of 8,600 GVW. So those changes are in place.
Captains, quasi-IT directors, credit. I mean, we are monitoring it. This weekend, for example, somebody was in 16 times, which typically would trigger somebody to go, questionable, but quick check, and it panned out that they were legitimately
removing trees from the property.
So, just so the public's well aware, we pay very close attention. No further discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
And that's the end of unfinished business.
Nothing in our new business. Fiscal officers report, Mr. Wolf.
Thank you. Fiscal Officer number 1 is a request for resolution to authorize payment of pending warrants in an amount of $486,714.59.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 2 is request for resolution to authorize payment of regular payroll in an amount not to exceed $250,000.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 3 is request for resolution to authorize payment for the following medical claims.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Fiscal Officer number 4 is the bank reconciliation for July.
If there's any questions, feel free to see Tom after.
Fiscal Officer number 5 is the investment report for the month of July. And Fiscal Officer number 6 is a request for resolution to authorize the following transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
That concludes Fiscal Officer report.
Nothing our administrator, chief.
Thank you. Item number 1 is a resolution by the Board of Trustees to authorize purchase of payment to CFS Inspections to test all ground ladders and aerial ladders and miscellaneous supplies not to exceed $3,500.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
Item number 2 is to inform you that we did receive our FEMA grant for our new SCBA air packs in an amount of $320,000. We obviously have a matching contribution of 10% to go with that, and that'll update all our air packs for the next 10 to 15 years. So it'd be packs, extra bottle, and mask. So through the FEMA program, so we're excited about that, and hopefully we're getting quotes and stuff this week and next week, and then get that going before the end of the year.
Nice work, chief.
And, item number 3 is a resolution by the Twain Township Board of Trustees to pay GASHL grant resources, not over $3,000, to be taken from Fund 10A15.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
And item number 4 is an update on another grant that it's called a micro grant from FEMA, and it is for specifically COVID replaceable items such as N95 masks, gowns, etc. So we will receive $3,000 through that. We also have a matching percentage on that, which is only $300 to get that money reimbursed. So update on that, and should be able to get those processed shortly because some of the N95 masks are becoming available.
So crazy question here. I mean, this is good, don't get me wrong, but looking at the bigger picture of the pool of government money, I know we've got certain COVID, we've got COVID cares, we've had some prior COVID, which has helped cover some of this PPE and stuff, and now we've got another mechanism which.
Well, this one we actually,
backfills some of that, so reimbursing other tax, I mean, this is like reimbursing other tax dollars. It seems sort of crazy in my
well,
head.
we applied for this it was actually shortly after the whole pandemic started. It was like in March
Okay.
31st, I think. It was a real short window, like 2 or 3 weeks. You had to put your paperwork in. So at that time, we didn't know about COVID cares and all that, and we just literally got notified the other day. But I understand what you're saying. So we, as far as the stuff that the finance office and administration put, we'll have to make sure that we don't put any of those N95 masks into that. So that obviously gives more room for other departments, you know, road, parks, except to use the money from COVID cares through the state. So,
Nice work, nice work.
but it's,
regardless.
there's out there, money out there, so it's hard to not apply, I guess. You know.
No, well, it's a responsible thing to stretch
Yeah.
our dollars further, but still, at the end of the day, it's just a bigger pool of taxpayers on the hook,
Yeah.
on the hook for it, because the fact of the matter is, all the COVID care stuff, it's all borrowed money at the end of the day, so. Good work, chief.
All right, thank you, that's it for fire department.
Road, I'm gonna turn this over to Lisa.
Thank you. In front of you, you have a resolution that will temporarily promote Craig Knopf to the mechanic position.
I will so move.
I'll second?
Discussion,
Yes, we do have a mechanic who is out on FMLA. The mechanics we have two, one typically works on the fire equipment, one on the road. We need two at all times, we have a lot of equipment. So until Logan comes back from FMLA, Craig is a mechanic, so he was hired with those skills, so he can step into place and fill that spot.
I will so move, or have we already moved?
Yeah.
So just roll call,
Mhm.
roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
It's gonna take us to the zoning department. Tom?
Thank you, sir. The first item on the agenda is a resolution to declare items A through C as nuisance abatements.
I will so move on zoning 1A through C.
I will second?
Discussion, roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
And item number 2 is a resolution to renew the service agreement with iWork Systems for for an amount not to exceed $8,305, and to authorize payment to be paid from Fund 13A, 03A.
Also moved.
Second, discussion, roll call,
Mr. Hawes?
yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
And that's all for zoning, sir.
I do, just on tacking on to the end, I want to give Vince and Megan a little extra kudos, because I guarantee when they come in Monday, they probably said, what the heck? I appreciate they got the apartment owner. Just so you, I went back through LOIs and everything, and I photo documented every building and every instance, so these guys probably had about 25 to 30 emails in their inbox over the weekend. Vince already has it, we've got a plan in place, that's gotta get better down there somehow, because
Well, I'm sorry, sir.
I was gonna say, it's just, I mean, not everything's gonna be pristine, but a certain level of care. And, I mean, a landlord can say, oh, well, it's the tenants. Well, you can set expectations on the tenants, or you can get them out of there. And the reality is, there's a couple buildings along the back there that are well maintained. And, you know, so whether you're the tenant or any of the surrounding property, I just really appreciate them jumping on that and getting that landlord in here. Clearly, there's still a bigger picture I'm pushing through on that, depending upon what additional feedback I get through HUD and so forth. So,
We've dealt with that owner in the past, so it was a matter of Vince making a phone call, setting up a meeting, and the owner said he's gonna start next week, and just go one by one down the apartments.
and he'll provide it, Vincent told me this morning or midday, whenever I passed through, that they're gonna provide a weekly update. Here's what we've got done, and here's what we're doing.
This
So
is what we're expected to do.
I just,
Can you make sure that all of us trustees get an update on this?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I wasn't gonna copy everybody on the 30 emails.
No,
that
not
went
that.
out.
Just after the update. This is summary of it's good.
Okay, thanks. Nothing on our parks, nothing on our law director, nothing on our communications. It brings us to public speaks. Portion of the meeting, anybody wishes to address the board of trustees, just ask that you state your name and address for the record. Is there anybody that wishes to address the board here this evening? Okay. Nothing on our concerns for public speaks. Takes us to concerns of trustees. Nothing. Concerns of the fiscal officer.
No concerns.
Takes us to the approval of the minutes for August 11th, 2020. I will so move.
I will second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Mrs. Harless?
Yes.
And then I will move to adjourn at, my phone says 6:13 p.m. Make a motion to adjourn. Get a second.
I will second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Hawes? Mrs. Harless?
Yes.